Hello all, it's Chris Thompson here from Property Portal Marketing. I hope everybody is well. We have got a very special episode for you today. I think it's episode 9 now. And we are going to be talking to the fabulous Lyndon Longhorne, who is in his own right a celebrity. Yeah, which is good. Well, you're a Paralympian. Come on.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Exactly. Look, there's not many people out there that can say they're a part of the Paralympics and represented their country at the athletes and the
Absolutely.
Olympic Games, right? So
Yeah.
I think I'm well within my rights to call you a celebrity, right?
I'll accept.
And I think you're a record holder. I think 8 records, is it, for swimming?
So in total, I hold 13 British records across both short course and long course disciplines.
The unlucky 13, though. What about the 14th? What happened?
Just settle on 13, and yeah, if I went one more, everyone would just say you've been greedy. So I just thought, I'll let someone else have that one, and I'll have the other 13. It's absolutely fine.
No, that's awesome, mate. That's really, really good. I mean, yeah, I was quite a good. I was quite a good swimmer at school, like most people probably.
Yeah.
But no, it's really awesome, actually. So you're probably watching the Olympics at the moment. Probably quite enjoying the Brits and in the pool.
We've done all right, to be honest.
We have.
It took a bit of a slow start, but now that we've started to get into it, it's starting to flow. So hopefully, especially after like the triathlon today, which we got an incredible gold medal, which come out of nowhere.
Okay.
It was literally like silver all the way. And then the last 200 meters, the guy come out of nowhere and Brit just went, "See ya." I was like, where the hell does that come from? But yeah, do you know what? Hats off to the guys, and I know our target's like 50 to 70 medals, for this games in the Olympics, and then the para guys have to target 100 to 100, and I think it's 120 or something like that.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's busy,
Yeah.
but it's great, and obviously it gives you that opportunity to watch different sports and learn
Yeah.
about it, and it only comes around once every 4 years. And I mean, like myself, I've trained for 12 years to get to that level. In that time, becoming ranked top 10 in the world,
Mm.
Olympic torchbearer, British record holder, Paralympic finalist, World Championship finalist. I'm like, that's why I
Yeah.
said, you know, I'm happy to retire and
Yeah.
enjoy life. But yeah, there's loads of stuff in the pipeline, and it's a pleasure to join us on the team.
Great. Good stuff, buddy. Yeah, that's really awesome. You've done some amazing things in your life already. And the fact that you've joined PPM, I mean, it's just going to enhance your life, really, isn't it? So
Absolutely.
let's be honest. Yeah, exactly. Yay. Well, look, obviously we're gonna be talking about SEO today. Yeah, SEO is one of those really, really complicated things. So we're going to try and squeeze as much as we can in within the next sort of half an hour, an hour. Sometimes we say things are going to take half an hour and they end up taking more than an hour.
Yeah.
But we'll try and squeeze in and cram in what we can, and make things just really, really simple. Because I think when you overcomplicate things, that's when it gets really confusing for people to try and understand what you're kind of talking about and what the kind of aim is. But essentially, SEO, search engine optimization, is essentially getting you up the ranks. But before we do that, I want to cover your own, like a little bit about your own personal journey, because I don't know if there's many estate agents out there listening that will know you, right? Now you've had your own personal challenges to overcome. So how have you? It's really interesting for me how you've kind of dealt with that in your own life, and then sort of decided to make the decision to retire, and then sort of make the decision to move into kind of a more of an IT kind of SEO role. So, yeah, just give us a kind of an overview on that.
Yeah, so my journey started back in, I'll go right back. So when I was 8.5 months, I was struck with meningitis, which was how I lost both my legs, right arm and fingertips on my left hand. So that led to me facing challenges for the rest of my life. And obviously I was the worst case in 1996 to date. There's kids that are still now getting meningitis, and that's why I do my job now of going out there to raise more awareness of it. Fast forward years, I never had an interest in sport, when Beijing Olympics came around. Watched the games. That's what inspired me to get into it. And don't get me wrong, I've tried gymnastics, athletics, wheelchair basketball, wheelchair rugby, swimming, loads of different disciplines. And it's nice to have that option to keep open and just say, "Do you know what, I'm going to give everything a go." And that's the way that I look at it. And it's like, if you can go and try something and you feel you've got the power to improve that, stick at it and push it. That's why I done it with swimming. Yes, it's granted, it is a lot of hard work. Early mornings, 4:30 starts, and then you're working right the way through. So you could do a 2-hour training session. You could then have a gym session for an hour, and then you're back training on a night. So some nights I wouldn't get home till like 10 o'clock. And
Right.
you've got, in that time, you would have either university, college, work, or whatever you're trying to do in that time frame. So yeah, over the 12 years, I've battled injuries, I've battled illnesses, but I've still got up and got the work done. And if it wasn't for sport, I probably wouldn't have learned more about psychology and all the mental health issues that I went through with it, to actually making me a stronger person now, and giving you that more resilience factor to say, "Do you know what? I've got the discipline." Yes, you can wake up and you can be motivated, but at the same time, that 95% of that comes from discipline, and you've just got to keep doing. And it's hard because everyone's like, "Oh, I want to be there. I want to be at the top," but no one knows that you have to do the boring stuff to get to that top level. So that's where it does become tricky, and not everyone's willing to do that. People can get started, but a lot of people, after like say weeks, months, whatever it is, they don't want to stick it out. And that's it with sport. You can start, and it might be after a month of being like, "This is boring." And it's not until you go to a competition that you're like, "Oh, I love it." But you go back into that routine, what you're doing before, getting up, going train, going home, going to college, coming home, going back training. That's how the repetition is. The more you stay at that, like with work and like doing SEO now, being in that IT role, the more you stick at the boring stuff, makes you that stronger individual to push on later in life to get to that level.
I didn't want to make that. I didn't want to make that connection myself. To be honest, like I was like, no, I'm not going to be the one to make the SEO connection here. But you just put it so nicely. You put it so well. I can't avoid the connection now.
But that's the thing, when you can relate stuff from your sport to then relaying it into work point of view, you can then go, "Okay, this is natural." It's one of those that where I take this object and I shift it over to here, and I know them skills are transferable, and it just bounces off one another. And the more you keep doing that, the more you start and get your
The
brain
more
to
it becomes,
train.
the easier it gets. And I think that is one of the things with SEO. I think because there is a lot of groundwork that
Yeah,
goes into it. Okay, you don't have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, like
yeah,
to do the SEO, but there is a heck of a lot of groundwork that goes into it. And yeah, ultimately you can start with it. But I think again, there's a lot of people that sort of think that they can put 3 months worth of SEO work in and they're going to be number one, and that's
yeah,
just not the way it works. And one thing that I want to make really clear is there's a lot of companies out there that will sort of say to you, "Oh, we can guarantee to get you page one," right?
yeah,
In my opinion, nothing is guaranteed.
yeah,
There's two things that are guaranteed in life, right? One of them's taxes, and the
yeah.
other one's death.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. So you've always got to be a little bit wary of SEO, especially if somebody says, "Oh, we'll guarantee you page one," because there's just so many different algorithms. There's so many different factors that go into it. There's so much work that goes into it that it's really, really difficult to predict. You might actually end up doing all of that work and
Yeah,
still be on bottom of page one, or even worse, like top of page two,
yeah,
because there is the whole time factor that goes into this as well, i.e. the more credibility you've got built up over time, regardless of what anyone does, you're always going to be there, right?
yeah.
Um, but as long as you've got those fundamental bits and pieces in place, it gives you a better edge than somebody who is only just coming into the market, for example.
I think the
Um,
best way to look at it
so
would be, it's like building a house. You wouldn't just go put the bricks up and then that's it. You
mm,
would lay the foundation out of saying, right, this is where it's going to be, and then you
yeah,
build around that. And
yeah,
that's what SEO is. You have to start from the ground and know everything what your competitors are doing.
Yeah.
what is being researched, what questions are being asked. Then it's how do you integrate that onto your website? Do you do it from front end SEO? Do you do it from the back end with all your backlinks? Do you then do technical SEO? There's loads of different factors, but
Mm.
what a lot of people seem to misunderstand is they think, oh, I'll put a website together, done, and it'll get up the ranks. It's not. SEO is long term. You have to have that plan in place to say, okay, this is where I'm at in month 1. Where am I in month 3? Where am I after
Yeah.
12 months?
Yeah.
That's how it needs to be. It's like
Yeah.
goals. You have them goals in place to say, this is where I want to be by this time next year. That's how you need to look at SEO from the bottom up, and not
Yeah.
just jump on the ladder and going, I'm going to jump from here to here.
To hear. Yeah. It doesn't
How
work.
you getting? How you filling that gap? It's not
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah. Not all of us have a pole vault.
Yeah, very true. And if it was me, I'd be like a little Powerball. Woo!
Yeah, it's true. No, everything that you say there is very true, and you do have to lay that foundation work. And um, the first question that a lot of people ask is, why is SEO so expensive?
Yeah.
And I think that one of those reasons is just because there is so much that goes into it, right? I mean, all I've got to do is reel off 5 things. So meta keywords, meta descriptions,
Mhm.
alternate image tags, SEO titles, and then mobile speed optimization and the rest of it.
Yeah.
It's not, if you build a website, it's just kind of 2 or 3 things that you want focusing on, right? Especially if you're building a property website.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it just isn't that when it comes to SEO, and because those algorithms are consistently changing, every year Google seems to bring out a new thing about SEO.
Mhm.
Like, because it's consistently changing, that's why it's expensive, because there needs to be constant research, constant development in the website, constant development in this, that, and the other. And it takes time. It takes it takes a few weeks to a few months to build a successful
Yeah.
website, right? It takes months to years to build a successful social media presence.
Mhm.
It's going to take you around about the same time to build a successful SEO, and it needs to be active. Otherwise, you just end up falling back down the rankings. So,
I think that's the other thing
you
as
know,
well. When you look at SEO and you look at a website, everyone's like, "Oh, I could build a website." And granted, yes, if you go and build it with like Wix or Squarespace and stuff like that, not a problem. But what are you doing to actually
mm,
boost that up the rankings? But then half the time you look at a website and it's like there's no thought gone into it. It put the blocks on the page, done.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like, well, what about someone on a mobile? Is it optimized? Is it working for mobile? Is it responsive? Does everything lay out correctly?
yeah,
And it's like the way technology's gone over the last 5 years, it is grown at a rapid rate, especially with AI and
yeah,
everything that comes in now. That everyone's like, oh, I'll build it on desktop and it's fine. But everyone's on tablets, everyone's on mobiles. Smartphones now is just got to a
yeah,
point where, oh, I'll just open my phone and go on browser, same as like Facebook did. Meta brought
yeah,
everything out for apps. So it's like, do you want a website to operate in that function, or do you want it to operate on an app instead? So you
yeah,
still have to think about all the UI UX, but still that SEO is still vitally important to make sure that
yeah,
you are getting recognized and not just popping it on, boom, done, it's
yeah.
out. Because that's not going to get you anywhere.
No, I think one of the big things that Google used to have, sort of probably around about 5-6 years ago, is backlinks used to be like
Yeah.
everything. The more backlinks you get, the more credibility you build, the better it is. And I think Google over the last 5-6 years, a bit like everyone else, has kind of realized that actually what's important now is the consumer. That's what's important. And what does the consumer want, and what is the consumer getting from your website?
Yeah.
It's a bit like when Simona and myself spoke about one of the key things about social media was unique content, right?
Mhm.
And content that is relevant to what the user is searching for. Now,
Yeah.
Google ranks sites pretty much the same. They will say, well, what is that user searching for when they click on your website? And is it easy to find? Is it quick to load?
Mhm.
Um, One of the good things that you'll know a lot about is the Google Lighthouse report, which
Yeah.
is used a lot within SEO because it matches Google's algorithms. But
Mhm.
going on to that, or going back to that, what I was talking about backlinks is it's not so much about backlinks anymore.
Yeah.
It's so much more now about how the consumer sees the site. So
Yeah.
what sort of things out there can you recommend for people who are looking at building a website or looking at doing SEO, and following the Lighthouse Report? You might want to give an intro to Lighthouse Report, because I probably just
Yeah.
mentioned it, but I haven't really spoken about it. So
I think for me, so I'll use my website as an example. So I built my own personal website, but what I wanted to do was aim it at the audience of what am I looking for when I go to that website. The thing is, you want it simple and you want it not easy to navigate. Now, when you do the whole UI UX, so for anyone listening who doesn't know what that is, that's the user experience and the user interface, how everything works. So if I come to that website, I know how that works when I look at it. I scroll down that page and I can click a link and it'll take me there. What you don't want is to put it together and find, well, that link's not working. And then before you know it, you've not got your links to your social media. You've not got links to the right page. There's 404s coming up left, right, and center. Then before you know it, Google's already going from here. Oh, we'll put you down.
excuse me.
We'll keep putting you down the ranks rather than put you up. Granted, you can pay Google and stuff like that to go, oh, we'll put you top of the ranks, but that's advertising. It's not really you using natural SEO to get you to that top level. The same with Lighthouse. And I know when we first spoke about this, we'd looked at all the SEO, but Lighthouse was saying, oh, yeah, it's 99. And it's like, but wait there, why have we got red lights all over? And Yoast is great, uses the traffic light system. Red, you know you've got improvements to make dramatically to get it up and get it recognized from Google and other search engines. Amber, okay, you've got things there, but they still need a little bit of tweaking. Green, brilliant. These are the things that are doing really well. And it's just keeping that momentum going. It's not about going out there and putting the SEO in place and then leaving your website. Granted, when you put it on like WordPress or anything like that, you'll always have updates that are coming through. Obviously, other platforms have their other formation, but it's just so much easier to have that strategy in place. And especially when you speak to someone who knows what they're talking about with SEO, it's kind of like, okay, these are what we need to actually highlight. It's knowing what your competitors are doing and researching all the questions that are getting answered. And one of the best things that I've used is going onto Google, you're searching what you're looking for. As you scroll down, you'll notice that there's questions what come up, and it says people are searching for this.
Yeah.
That's SEO. That's get them on your website. You will start getting recognized.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen overnight. Anyone that tells you they can do it in a week, overnight, rubbish. It is not possible. If they want to pay and say, yeah, we'll put advertisements out there, yes, that will get you to the top. Because as long as you're in the right category in your area for what people are searching for, not a problem. It will literally get you advertisement, but you will be at the top.
Yeah, with the sponsored ads. Yeah.
Yeah. But after that, it's kind of a case of the ones that fall underneath that are doing all the SEO to an absolute standard that Google is saying, brilliant, we love this, easy navigating, the sitemap is spot on, it's got everything from start to finish. The best example I can use is imagine you getting a car today, you wouldn't drive to a new location without using your sat nav. That sat nav will take you on that direction. That's what Google does. That's how it looks at a website from start to finish. If your website's not laid out correctly and all the SEO is not right, you're not going to get it boosted up the rankings. So yeah, just simple tricks like that. Going on to Instagram or Facebook and looking things up of like, okay, this is what people are searching for. Going on to Ask the Public. That's a website which is really good to give you a bunch of questions, not only for Google, but Bing and TikTok and things like that. The work's
Google
there.
Keyword Trends is really good as well. Like there's a Google, is it Google Keyword Planner? Which
Keyword
I know people primarily use that for, when they want to run Google ads.
Yeah.
But what I really like about that is it will show you like a monthly sort of average search monthly. And you can also search by the country of people as well. So you can see, okay, well, I want to search the UK. Oh, I want to target people in the UK, sorry. So you click on UK and you can go real estate Mercia, for example, right? And it will tell you how many average searches you're getting for various keywords.
Yeah.
You can then go and put those keywords into your website and bang, happy days.
Yeah.
You know,
The
and I
other one
think
as well,
go on.
Google Trends.
Yeah,
That's
Google Trends is
so
really good
good
too. Yeah,
because you can compare them. Obviously, we know Google's got your red, your yellow, your green, your blue. That's how Google will work. So if you put your things into Google Trends, you
yeah,
compare three of them and then scroll down and see what the queries are. And if
yeah.
it's literally saying it's had a breakout, you know it's heavily being searched at the minute
Mm.
and it's reached its new height. So that's also another key area to look out for of what people are actually putting on and how you can actually integrate them. Don't do one of the things that I love is when people going, oh, that's there, I'll put it on the website.
But
What
you got
why
to
have
have
you
a
put it,
structure behind it before you do
yeah,
that. Yeah,
why have you put it on that page? Oh,
yeah,
because Google search no, it needs to be on that page.
yeah,
Why are you putting it on the wrong pages? It makes
yeah,
no sense.
yeah. You got your page has got to have a structure as well, and we'll cover what
Correct.
the page structure is. But I think Lighthouse, Google Lighthouse, if you run it, it's on developer tools within Google Chrome.
Yeah,
Um, it can be a little bit confusing because what it gives you is it sort of gives you 4 scores. One of those is the SEO score,
yeah,
and 9 times out of 10, you'll find that actually SEO score to be quite high.
yeah,
The problem with that SEO score is essentially all that's telling you is that your site is SEO friendly.
yeah,
What it doesn't tell you is actually that you have to put the work in order to get the meta descriptions, the meta titles, the keywords, the SEO titles, the short description, the all of that kind of stuff, the alternate image tags. You know, it
yeah,
doesn't tell you that. It just says 99. So a lot of people might look at that and be, well, am I SEO compliant? Am I not SEO compliant? And one of the good things to use with that is obviously WordPress sites. If your site is built on WordPress, you can use something called Yoast SEO, which I know that you mentioned and we love really well
yeah.
because that will tell you everything you need to know, and it has a really good traffic light system as well. Um, Funny enough, if your site isn't on Yoast SEO, you still follow exactly the same principles. Whatever it's built on, there will still be a meta title. You will still need an SEO title. You will still need a meta description. It's just that you won't have that kind of green light, red light, amber light structure that maybe a plugin on WordPress would give you.
Yeah,
And that's where if you want to use an SEO specialist, it's really good doing that because effectively, whether you'll go down the WordPress route or whether you go down a more custom built route,
mhm,
they'll be able to look at your site and go, right, this is what I can see. This is where you need to improve. This is what you need to do.
yeah,
Um, but let's talk about sort of the simplicities of sites because again, there's there's so many agents. I feel, and funnily enough, everybody does it. Right,
mhm,
technology moves at such a pace where people think, "Oh my god, right, I need to keep up with technology. This is I really I need like an all singing, all dancing website. I need this flashing, that moving, this. Just keep it simple.
yeah,
People are coming to your website because they want to search a property in Timbuktu, right?
yeah,
That's just an example, right? And people want to find it within 30 seconds to a minute.
yeah.
They don't want to be searching around, trying to click here, click there, click everywhere. It's here's what we do. Basically, it's here's what we do, here's what we offer, here's
Yeah.
the areas we work in, here's our property search, bang. And
The
that
worst
site,
thing that
yeah,
you can do with that is when people say, you need this, you need that, you need this. When you next load your website, it's taking about 5 to 10 seconds to load.
yeah,
Your website should take no more than 2 to 3 seconds. Like, at least it should be a second to get that bounce rate, making sure people are going on the website, they're staying there. If
it
someone
is.
goes
I mean,
on
it
the
is
website,
hard talking about that, Lyndon.
yeah,
It is, and you'll know this yourself, mate. It is hard with real estate because a lot of the clients that we work with, and a lot of the real estate clients are out there. When you build a real estate website, they are one of the more heavier websites. They are
yeah,
very, very heavy because there's a lot of images, there's a lot of database queries, there's a lot of searches, there's a lot of things like that. Um, I do agree with you that sites need to be quick, but at the same time, I think there is a world a global recognition that if you're in real estate, it is hard because
yeah.
the sites are so heavy.
I completely agree. And if you compare your website, so say now you've got a real estate website, it could take probably like 3 or 4 seconds to actually load. But obviously, WordPress gives you them plugins to actually boost it,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Rocket and things like that. there's loads of plugins which can help you. Now, I'm not saying go and get a plugin and install it and then it's going to boost. You make sure that you look at what people have installed. Yoast, great one to actually use for SEO. Put it on, you'll see before you install that plugin, it'll tell you how many people have that installed. And that's one of the beauties about using WordPress. It's great. Yes, don't get me wrong, it can have teething problems. But when you put a site onto like your usual like Wix or Squarespace or something like that, you've got a limit on how many pages you can do. Whereas WordPress, put it on, build as many pages as you want. But you've also got the plugins there. So you've got like Elementor, you've got Yoast, you've got Rocket, which can boost it. If you're not,
Got
you've
got XML feeds incoming, outgoing. You've got XML all import, XML all export. You've got all the various bits and pieces that you need. I think the main thing is just keep it really simple. You know, the simpler, the better. And yeah, the quicker you can make your load time, the better it will be. I mean, it will add significantly to your Lighthouse report and to the Google algorithm. You might have an all singing, all dancing website, but if it doesn't load quicker, you're not going to get on the rankings. Like full stop, it's not going to happen.
The worst thing as well is when that bounce rate starts, you start and seeing it's going higher and higher and higher. That's going to affect your ranking on Google massively. The quicker your website loads, whether that's mobile, whether it's tablet, whether it's desktop, the three most important platforms that you should be looking at is now mobile and tablet. Yes, granted, everyone uses a laptop and goes on web applications and things. The quicker you can get them to load, it's going to help Google go, this is a fast website. We're not asking you to go and put this rocket flying across your screen, this world spinning, this house giving you a massive 3D tour, finding your website. What are you doing? Just keep it block based. If you have blocks on your website, which is how it's all built, just building in blocks, lay them out correctly, making sure the text is in its H1 to make sure it's key, and then H2s and 3s follow up after that. Your paragraphs are displayed correctly, your breakpoints are out, everything like that. We're not saying you've got to be like this world-class coder. There's block foundations out there that can literally, you put into WordPress, you drag it in, put the information in that you need, done. You can build an absolute quality website from just doing that. Yes, you can do all the fancy tricks with all codes and great like that, but you've got to you've got to spend months doing that.
But you can. I mean, again, I know we're talking quite a bit about WordPress, but whether you go down a WordPress route or whether you custom build it, you can hard code various bits and pieces into the website as well. So because there will be people out there that say, "Oh, I don't like the block route." Right. And yeah, of course, you don't like the block route. I understand that. I get it. It looks very templated. But again, if you get someone that knows what they're doing, they can manipulate that and hard code it and do little bits and pieces for you that mean you end up with a really good looking website, which still has that block element and works for SEO, but doesn't have all of the kind of back end code and JSS and CSS files associated with it. So, I think what we're saying here is talk to someone who knows.
Right? Just make sure that you're speaking to that person who knows that platform. You don't want someone coming in and going, "Oh, I can build you a website." Well, mine's on WordPress. Oh, well, I can move it and build it so much better with GeoBlog's web builders. Sorry, what is that? Never heard of it. And then when they hand it over to you, you've got no idea how to use that platform. And they haven't even put a manual together or anything like that. Just simply
research is really, really important.
Correct.
Certainly. I think I know that we're talking more about websites here, but just whilst we're on that topic, one of the things with it's either Squarespace or Wix, in fact, it might be both, is that you can't implement XML feeds into them, which is like, what? XML feeds have been around for donkey's years, and I have a real estate site and I can't implement, it probably can be done, but I mean, it's not a simple procedure and it's going to end up costing a lot of money. So, whatever route you go down, if you don't know how to do it, either get someone who does know how to do it or make sure you put the research in. And it's exactly the same with SEO as well. Make sure that you, again, do that research and speak to somebody who can help you with it. And yes, it is expensive, but look, in the long run, it's beneficial for you because you want to get leads, you want to get exposure, and the best leads you can get are the ones that come through your website.
Yeah.
Anybody will tell you that, whether it's a B2C website or whether it's a B2B website, it doesn't matter. You could be selling Cadbury's chocolate, right?
Yeah.
But anyone that comes to your website direct and makes an inquiry usually converts.
Yeah.
I'd say probably 80% of them should convert because they've gone to your website, they've looked at the site, they've spent time on the website, they like what you're offering, they've then made the inquiry. That's not a 10-second procedure. That's a sort of 15, 20 minutes, depending on the value of the product. Obviously, if it's a chocolate bar, they're going to spend 30 seconds looking at your site. But if it's a house, if it's a house, they're going to spend like 15, 20 minutes probably looking at your website, looking at what you've got. So
if someone came in now, and it's like any business, whether it's chocolate, whether it's in property, there's no new business that's going to come to you now and say, we've built this new product. The product's there. It's how you re-visualize that product to someone else. Now, it's like, say, for example, you're a villa. You've got a villa in Spain or you've got a villa in Ibiza, wherever it's going to be. Bring two people out who can build a website and get the photos. Someone builds you a website with one platform, but someone builds it on another platform. But you've spent thousands of pounds for this one than someone you've spent doing 300 quid's worth of work. That person that spent thousands and put the research in because they know that property will get you viewings because they've done the SEO research for what people are doing.
Yeah.
Now, someone that's just paid 300 quid will just whack it up, put the blocks on, done, and just send it out. If you want a quick website, yes, granted, that's what will happen. But the more money you invest, then obviously it's going to pay in the long run.
The more money you invest, the better it will be for you in the long run. Unfortunately, with real estate, there are sharks. Dare I say there's sharks in the industry? But there are, and we all know it. And I think you just have to. And referrals are a big thing in this business as well. A big thing.
Yeah.
Good. Let's because I know that people are going to ask is the structure of SEO. So, for example, let's say somebody builds a website. What are the kind of 5 key kind of metrics that a page, let's say a page, right, needs to adhere to? So, obviously, there's certain things on that page that they're going to need to have. And I know I've mentioned a few of them already, but let's just go through them. So, the 5 key metrics.
So, for me, it's more important to make sure that you've got that title that stands out. We're not saying go and write a title that's 30 words long. That's not 30 characters long. That's not what we're saying. Make it short, snappy, and it grabs the attention. You're then making sure that you've got that highlighted throughout your website in the H1 tag, that it's literally standing out. But what we're saying is, once you've got that title highlighted, go to the next section and say, right, put the slug in. Make sure your slug's identified. Make sure your meta description's identified.
What's a slug?
A slug is where
I know what a slug is. It's not the little sticky thing that crawls along the floor.
No. The way that I understand the slug is it's the shorthand version of what it's actually about.
It's the URL, essentially. Yeah, it's the URL.
So then it's making sure that they are not overly worded. The other thing to make sure is if you're putting that title out there and you're saying number 1 properties in the Algarve, or number 1 properties in Spain, or Costa Blanca, wherever it's going to be, don't then go and overuse it, because the biggest thing what Google can then do is de-rank your site, and it will then take ages to get back up in the rankings, because
it's called keyword stuffing, isn't it? That's what it's called. Yeah,
it's
keyword
like getting
stuffing.
a black mark.
Yeah,
and you don't want that.
You can't recover from that.
It will. God, you'll be looking at years to get you back up.
Well, that's actually funny enough. That's one of the reasons that Google changed their algorithms with this whole link building thing, because people were just going to some old website and saying, "Oh, we need a link. Can you link to us?" And it wouldn't even be related to real estate. Wouldn't even be related to what they were selling. It was just some dodgy PR site that somebody had set up 20 years ago that just had a load of links on it. And you sit there and go, "What are you doing?" oh, it's because Google have this algorithm that if I have more links into my site, I'm going to get high up the rankings. And
Yeah,
I think Google realized what people are doing, and they just went, nah,
yeah,
no more of that. We're going to shut that right down. I mean, it's good to have links on your site, right? But come on, like,
yeah.
have some relevance, you know?
Making sure that if you have your villa on there, that your villa can be then directed to say if you wanted to for rentals for sakes, you then direct them to the right place to rent your property. Not, oh well, we'll send you to Amazon and buy this
Yeah,
product that we what? That's got
yeah.
nothing to do with why I need to be on here.
Well, you might,
It's
you like classic example is you might want to if talking about having a because I think one of the things on Yoast SEO is make sure you have an external and internal link. Well, you don't necessarily need to link somebody off the site, but in
yeah.
terms of an internal link, you might want to say for further information, contact us,
Mhm.
right? And then you link the contact us to the contact us page. Or, for example, you might want to sell property on a golf resort,
Yeah.
right? Or if you're selling property on a golf resort, in terms of an external link, you might actually want to send people to that golf resort so they can have a look around and see
Yeah.
what the golf resort is. And that's really good kind of relevant information. Google love that. It's all about unique content. So yeah.
It's making sure that if your villa's in a key location, like if you were going to Portugal and you wanted to play golf, where's the closest golf course to that villa? Okay, what's this one?
Mm,
Brilliant. Put some facts on about that golf course with an appropriate image that's to do with that place. Don't just put an image on and leave it. It needs
mm.
to have the tag for the image as well.
And that's the alternate image tag, correct?
Correct. Yes. So when you've got your alternative image tag, it gives it that recognition because Google's then going, hold on, we know where this image is recognized. Pull it. Great, we've got it.
Yeah.
If you just put an image on and you're just letting Google come in and be like, "Hmm, hmm, what is this image of?"
Some guy on it with a golf club.
Yeah,
Like,
the
great.
every single day there are spider bots which will go across the site and crawl to make sure everything's looking appropriate and working to the right level. Then on that website, so if you have all the golf information on there and they want to go and get more information, put the link, put click here to view more information.
Yeah.
Send them to that website. That's great because then you're pulling traffic. They might be pulling traffic into you, but you're also returning traffic to them. So it's a two-way situation. As long as you've got
Yeah.
that working, great. So the inbound links and outbound links are the two great key bits of information to use.
Mm,
And it's also as well making sure that if you have your website built, you've got a description there about that, but you're using the keywords from your title in that description. Don't just put your title on and then go blah 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 blah, blah in the description bit when it's got nothing to do with your actual title,
yeah.
because then it just makes no sense. You're giving people the information, but you're not giving them the correct information below
And
that.
the description is really important because it's effectively what Google sees.
Yeah,
So when when you're typing into Google like property for sale in Mercia, for example, you'll see the URL of the site and then you'll see the description underneath. That's what somebody will first see about your website. So, if it's got if they go on there and it's got property for sale in Mercia and then it's got something like that's not even related to property for sale in Mercia, one, Google aren't going to know what the hell you're talking about, and
yeah,
two, your consumers aren't going to know what the hell you're talking about either.
yeah,
So it's really important to at least have a good meta description. Go on,
yeah.
like at least,
I think
So
that's where a lot of people can get confused with the meta description of like, oh, what do I need to put in here? It's
mm,
literally summarize to like contact us. You wouldn't just put it on and then just say, just click here to contact us. It's making sure if you want more information regarding this property or more properties in this area, get in touch with us and speak to our professional team. It's a more descriptive information. When you go on Google, so if you click on Google now and put it in properties in Costa Blanca or properties in Turkey or wherever it's going to be, you'll have that link.
mm,
Underneath that, you will have the description. That is what we're talking about. That meta description is that key block of information that you would read to make sure you are going to that right location. That's what we're saying.
yeah. And I think that the really one of the other sort of key points here is uniqueness.
Yes.
definitely unique, because if you, I mean, and that's a really good thing, obviously, with again talking about Yoast SEO. They
Yeah.
should pay us for this podcast, really, because we're promoting them quite heavily in it. but you know, with Yoast SEO, and in fact, even if you don't use SEO, but I'm just saying that it's a really good thing that they have, is they will give you guidelines on what you have and you haven't done, right? So they will give you that traffic light system, but you can also see what you're missing.
Mhm.
And there'll be some key points in there that we've already picked up on that you could be missing, hence the reason why you're getting a low score. But
Yeah.
one of those things is uniqueness.
Yeah.
Keep it unique. Like, don't use the same keyword across all of your pages. You know, for example, your homepage might be, you know, you might want to rank that for property for sale in the Costa Blanca.
Yeah.
When it comes to your buy page and your properties like search results page, don't use the same keyword. Maybe use new build properties for sale on the Costa Blanca, right? Use a different, it has to be unique. Otherwise, Google just won't. I mean, in fact, actually, Yoast SEO will tell you that it's not unique anyway. But if you have gone down a custom build route, just make sure it's unique. It has to be.
I think that's one of the bonus things that Yoast do, and not a lot of people do it, is when you go on, if you want more information to do with how to get your ranking from red to green, the steps are listed for
Yeah.
you. And if you're not sure what that is, go along, you'll see a hyperlink sending you to their page where they've written a blog post about that specific area. Great. You can follow that through. Okay, I know what I'm doing now. Brilliant.
Yeah.
It is like a step-by-step guide. It's like an instruction manual when you get your Lego out on Christmas. And you literally sat there following it.
Yeah.
1, 2,
Yeah.
3. That's what yours does.
Yeah.
And even if you want some help to try and get it up further, then it's like, okay, go and read the blog posts, or even
Yeah.
just study it. SEO is one of those where you've got to constantly be on top of it, because as soon as you lose track, someone else will come along, build a website, they'll have all their SEO done, they'll go above you. 9 times out of 10, that more people will not go past page 3 on Google. So if you look at the bottom when you scroll down, you'll see page 10, page 20, page 30. They're not even getting recognized. Yes, the sites are there, but the important factor is to get you on them first. Obviously, you want to be on the first page. That's where everyone wants to be.
Yeah.
But as long as you're within them first 3 pages, you have got a chance of being recognized. And that's what's key to remember.
Yeah. Well, the other thing for keeping it unique is that some people have if you look at sort of Google Trends and
Yeah.
Google Keyword Planner, people have got really weird ways of searching for stuff.
Yeah.
Like you and me, right? We'll search if I'm looking for a property for sale in Mercia.
Yeah.
I might type into Google property for sale in Mercia, or I might type in apartments for sale in Mercia. When you look at Google Keyword Planner, people type in really weird stuff like houses, sale, Mercia for apartment. And you sort of think, hang on a minute, somebody's typed that
Yeah.
into Google and found me that way? It's
Yeah.
like, if you look at, you know, it's sort of a really weird, there's sort of loads of different things that people type in. People don't, funny enough, people, when they search for stuff now, they don't just type in what you and me would type in. It's some really
Yeah.
weird. So one of the other things for keeping it unique is you want to try and reach as many people as possible within those sort of key phrases. So just because you don't appear on page 1, let's say, for property for sale in Mercia, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to appear on page 1 for other keywords that people are using. I think that's one of the reasons for keeping it unique, is that if you've got 6 or 7 or 8 different keywords with different pages, somebody at some point is going to see you on page 1 or page 2. But it's just that there's so many different ways that people search for things.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're trying to keyword stuff as well, it means that you're basically trying to cheat.
Yeah. The thing is, as well, when you look at the questions that are being asked on Google, and it gives you like the top 4 or top 5 questions of people are asking this, people are asking that. If you've got a page on your website which is displaying that question, which other websites have got, not a problem. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is you could have another 6 subheadings under there to do around that area. And what Google will then do is, right, we can't rank you on this, but we'll rank you on that, because that is standing out more And then as soon as they'll put that in, they go, boom, there's your
Yeah.
website.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, but why am I being recognized for this? Everyone thinks because that keyword, like how to buy a property in Mercia or wherever it's going to be, that question, they think, well, I'm not on page 1. It doesn't matter. That question's been searched everywhere.
Yeah.
You go anywhere in the world, that's been searched. The best thing you can do is literally have a bunch of keywords on that page that stand out. So when someone else searches for you, you'll pop up under another keyword.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Good. The other thing that I wanted to mention is there's also no reason as to why you can't rank properties as well. So you can do these sort of 5 key things for your pages.
Yeah.
But as a real estate agent, you can also do them for your properties as well, right? So you can start to get your properties ranking. So if somebody types in 1-bedroom apartment for sale in Altea,
Yeah.
and you've got a keyword that is 1-bedroom apartment, or you've got a property that has the keyword and the meta description and the meta title and the alternate image tag as 1-bedroom apartment in Altea, you're going to start ranking the properties as well, which is going to be really important. It's kind of more in depth.
Yeah.
So rank your pages by all account, rank your pages because that's going to be important for generalized keywords.
Yeah.
But also rank your properties as well. Start getting those SEO optimized as well. And your blogs, if you're doing blogs, I mean that's a really big thing for SEO too, because you can really keyword stuff those without kind of being like rejected as a such. You can get away with a lot more on a blog. But then SEO, make sure the blogs are SEO too. Like a prime example of that is I was working with a client, and he said to me, "Oh, Chris, I'm not on page 1 for this keyword here." And I said, "Yeah, but if I type this in, it goes directly to your blog piece.
Yeah.
You're on page 1. You're top of page 1 for that blog, right? That's what people are searching for right now. It was something on La Torre Golf Resort, I think, or something. I can't remember exactly. And I showed, the traffic stats for that. And I said, all right, you might not be appearing on page 1 for property for sale in Mercia, but if somebody types in, golf property for sale in Mercia, which is links to your blog piece, that's what they're hitting. And that's really good, rich content for consumers. Because it doesn't just show them golf property, it talks to them about golf property as well.
Yeah.
And that's really good quality content that people want to see, and Google loves that kind of stuff as well. So
I think the best thing you can do is don't overthink it.
yeah.
And when it comes to SEO, if it was you that was wanting to search for that specific thing, what would you put into Google? If you think, okay, I'd put this in, brilliant, put that into Google and see what comes up. Take that information and say, what can we make more unique in this field?
Yeah.
I go back to it. You can have all your pages on your website, but what about your sub pages?
Yeah.
The sub pages are just as important as your main page. So, like what you were saying about property, you can have all the properties for sale, properties for rentals. You click on that property, blast it with the SEO that it needs, because before you know it, it'll start getting ranked on Google, and then you'll be like, "Well, I'm not ranking for that." Yeah, but if I put this in, there's your property. It's on
There it
page
is.
1.
Yeah.
So every page is key. When it goes back to like blogs, news articles, and stuff like that, great way to get your outbound links in to divert them to that. So we're not saying to you now, go and write a blog post and give them all that information from that article. Summarize the article, and if they put at the end, if you want to read the full article, click here.
Click here. Yeah, and then it sends you back. Yeah.
Then it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Social media is a really good one for that because you can put like a brief kind of synopsis of your article on social media, and then you can say click here for the full article and send people across. So it's really good as well. Definitely good. There is, funny enough, there's a few terms that sort of float around in social media. There's kind of online social media not social media, SEO. The sort of online SEO, offline SEO, tech SEO, this, that, and the other. Kind of really straightforward. Tech there's your online SEO and there's your offline SEO. Online SEO tends to be kind of your pages and your properties and your things like that. whereas offline SEO is more kind of speed optimization, page optimization, CSS files, JavaScript, JSS, all of that kind of stuff. So
But it's
yeah,
making sure that they're not bulked up with, oh, it's got to be, you've got to have your offline. Okay, don't go and ram it with loads of information that's completely irrelevant. Otherwise, then that's going to slow your website. Make sure that all that information that you're putting in the offline SEO is key, that it's going to make your website go a lot better than what it already is. And it's being recognized for that.
But don't despair. I know it's hard and I
Yeah.
know it's expensive, but don't despair because it again, it's not an overnight process. Look, selling a house isn't an overnight process. Therefore, the work that you have to put into it also isn't an overnight process. And we've said the same thing about sort of social media. We've said the same thing about building the website. We say the same thing about SEO. It is not there is no quick solution. There is no overnight solution to it. And yes, you have to put the work in and you have to put the effort in. And I think that's the thing with these SEO companies who sort of come along and say, oh, we can do it within a week. It's time saving.
Yeah.
Effectively, that's why these small to medium sized companies take on these people, is because it's a time saving thing. Well, it's better if I just give it to you because you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is better if you give it to somebody that knows what they're doing. If you don't have the time to put that work in yourself, yeah, sure, it is better. But just make sure it's with a company that you've either been recommended to, or you've had a referral from, or you've researched that company full on so that you know that they know what they're talking about.
The worst thing you can do, and this is one thing what I've known over the years of going into depths with the SEO and website building and stuff like this, is you do the SEO, but you're not tracking it.
Yeah.
So make sure that, like, even if it's on Google Search Console, you've got your website linked. Okay, where's it performed here? Okay, well, it's starting to go up. Then it dipped, but now it's starting to go up again and again and again. Every month, you put that into a spreadsheet or put it onto like a whiteboard or a canvas type of thing. Just keep track of everything, and the more you see, you'll start to see the results that come along. Otherwise, if someone comes in and says, "I'll do it in a week," great, you leave it, and then you think, "Well, my website's not ranking after 6 months." Yeah, what have you done to monitor
What have you
what
done?
has actually been happening?
Yeah.
What have they changed? What did you have here before they changed it, and what's different? Have you noticed what's been going different on Google Search Console?
Yeah.
Have you seen that you were here, but now you've dropped because they've
Have you
changed?
seen more inquiries
Yeah,
coming through your website? Just as a
yeah,
general rule of thumb as well, which is really good. So good. All right. I think as with these podcasts, there's always lots of information. And
yeah.
we always try to do it in kind of a really informative and friendly way as well. But that's the thing, is it's not there's always lots of things going on and there's always lots of things to do. But when you if you break it down like into little chunks, it does become a little bit easier. Good. All right. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, all I would say is just keep it simple. Don't make it complex than what it needs to be. If you know that brand or whoever is doing a good job in it, go and have a look at what they're doing. Don't just sit there and say, what do we need to do? There's loads of companies out there that will do good SEO and some that will do bad SEO, but they'll still get up the ranks. So it's utilize the information that's out there to your advantage and then optimize it to how you can make it more unique and use it in your own way. There's tools out there to help you. There's
Yeah.
people that you can speak to help you. Yes, there's people that will say, oh, I can do it in a day. Rubbish. I don't believe that you can do that in a day, leave it, and that's going to get you up the rankings. That is
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah.
Everything changes. We've seen it over the last 5 years with technology. Look back over the last 5 years. What have you seen that's changed? A lot.
Yeah.
That's SEO. So the more you keep it simple, the better it will be to help the spider bots when they come to your site to crawl and make sure that you're getting higher up.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Good stuff. So next week, I think we're going to do a little piece on, or we might do a live one next week. we might kind of all of us get together and jump on a live. Me, myself, you, Lyndon, and Simona as well. And we might do a live one. That could be interesting. That could be exciting.
Be a good one.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if anyone joins us, it'll be interesting. If not, I don't really know what we're going to talk about.
Oh dear.
Hopefully, we'll get some people coming on and some questions and things like that. Otherwise, it might be a bit boring. Just kind of us deciding what to talk about for an hour. But that's the thing in this industry. There's always loads of stuff to talk about. So even
There's
if we go
never-
live and we have one person watching, I'll take it. Right? I'll take it. Like,
But there's never a time where any form of like web development or UI UX, SEO, PPC, there is always topic. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of topics.
oh, I know. Yeah.
You could do podcast after podcast after podcast, but you'll have hours and hours and hours that'll fill your head with all this information and go, what have I learned?
Yeah.
When in fact, you just summarize and give the key areas that are going to be more vital in that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Excellent. All right, bud. Well, look, thanks very much for joining us. You better get away and do some more SEO for our clients, otherwise they'll be on the back of on our necks.
Yeah.
And of course, look, we're not the only company that does SEO for estate agents, right? Obviously, we'd love for everybody to come and work with us, but I'm not one to, hey, I'm the best company, come and work with me, blah blah blah. By the way, people don't work with us; they partner with us. But yeah, look, just whoever you choose, just do your research, and that's it for today. Excellent. All right, Lyndon, thanks very much, bud. Speak to you soon. Have a good one, and take care, everybody. Speak soon. Bye.
Bye.